What's going on, everybody? This is Paul, your new wellness guide, bringing you the tools to help you find your version of health and well-being. And this video, this is about truth. This is about truth. This video is about truth. Whose truth, you're asking? I'm glad you're asking. Your truth. What's your truth? And why I'm bringing this up is because in this time with this virus that's going on, this is recorded, there is a coronavirus and people are quarantined. A lot of businesses have shut down. Feels like I was just doing Star Trek Captain's Log in May 6, 2020. Anyway, during this time, there's a lot of fear because of the uncertainty, okay? And fear, when fear is triggered in a person, the part of the brain, the amygdala, the limbic system, will trigger chemicals that will create actions in the body to prepare it to either fight whatever the threatening component is, run from whatever the threat is, or freeze so the threat, so that the being is undetected by a threat. With that, when that happens, a lot of the decisions and a lot of the clarity that we can have as humans is gone. And unfortunately, people will take advantage of that. People will take advantage of that, believe me when I tell you. And a lot of information will be distributed to the masses. And it can get to a point where it's like, I don't know what it is for you, but I know for me, I can be grasping at content, especially on social media. I can see an article, I could be wrapped in an article, then another article, then a video, then a post, then a response, and I could be in that piece for freaking 3 hours, okay? And the key thing to note why I'm bringing this out is because, or why I'm even talking about this, is because I think it's very important for us to do a couple of components when it comes to what's happening in our environment right now, and in relation to the information that we take in, what we bring in. That is also part of what we take in, is part of our nourishment. Okay, like the information, the insight that we take in is all definitely part of how we nourish our bodies, our minds, and our spirits. So if we're taking in information that is out of alignment with our truth and what we believe are our values, then you know what? We're gonna be easily led astray. So what this video, since we're talking about truth here, there's a couple components that I think are necessary for anyone that is going through or foraging through different information out there and looking for what's the most relevant or what's the truth. So the first component is when you're seeking truth is to be curious, like Columbo. Okay? For some people that are watching this video, you may be like, who the fuck is Columbo? Columbo, okay, for those that are unaware, Columbo was one of the greatest detectives of all time, okay? Columbo, he was an unassuming cat, but that mug would get to the truth. And you know why? Because he would put the dots together, okay? He would look at something and be like, something, okay, yeah, that's a question. And he'd ask a bunch of questions. And people would think he was aloof and an idiot because he showed up in a busted ass car, busted shoes, old ass trench coat, and raggedy ass stuff, okay, with this cigar that he usually put in some place that was inappropriate, okay? People be like, who is this joker? And the killer would always be like, I'm gonna get over on this dude. Columbo would start to walk out, thinks he's got everything, be like, oh, one more question. There's a curiosity. Columbo would have this point in this, he would run through the information in his head and he would be curious. And there's another component I'm getting in here, and he would use common sense. Common sense is a lost art nowadays. Bet you didn't know. Coming back to this, he'd use common sense and he'd get curious. He'd want to know something didn't make sense to him, and he'd want to know why. And this is the thing when we're going through all this information. When you're reading something and something doesn't feel right for you, in your gut, get curious. Get curious. What the heck does that mean, or what does that look like? If there's an article with some resource that you're curious about, go research the resource. If there's someone on TV that says something like, oh no, who Who is this cat? Research him. Make sure the data is valid before you go take all this data into your brainstem, into your ears, and then into your brain, into your body. Because what's happening is as this information goes out, people fail to get curious, and then they take whatever information is given. And this is far from good. This is counterproductive for a human race and for a human period. All right. So being curious, okay, is the key thing. And that's the first part. And then the second part that I'm going to leave you with here, when it comes to the first part being curious, the second part when it comes to truth is to have your set of values and standards. Okay, have your sets of values and standards. Now, what I mean by that is, like, there may be some people that they're gonna have their truths, and it may go against yours. Okay. Now, you knowing your values and standards is important because that'll help you to align to, okay, what do I choose to put stock in or believe? Okay. All right, that's in alignment with it. Does it mean it's necessarily the truth? Maybe, maybe not. It resonates with you, correct? And if it does, then that's your truth. That's your truth. A lot of times we can go by what someone says and then, like, oh, well, this person says this and I'm going to change my opinion. Listen, know who you are. Know what's relevant for you. Know what's relevant to you. Because that's going to make an adjustment to what's going to be a truth that you're ready to sink into and believe. Okay? Knowing your values. It's important. It's important for just as far as being a human and also having a direction in life. Because while I'm saying know your values, really settling down and getting to the heart of your values ain't always the easiest thing, especially if a lot of people, especially if you're a person that's shied away from them unconsciously. When the system of things that goes on, there's a lot of distractions that will lead you away from your beliefs and values. A lot of distractions. Now, this last piece, as I'm talking right here, this last piece I think is going to be important too. Especially we talked about curiosity, we talked about knowing your values. And the third one is be open to another perspective. Why? Well, the thing is I can think I know something. And then once I learn something, once I'm able to be open to another perspective, I may learn that there's another truth that's more in alignment with the truth I originally had. Okay? This is the thing, right? And I think this is where we can get swept away and swept up and swept away. A lot of times we can, first of all, we fail to be curious. Another time, and for the second thing, we fail to have our sense of, we fail to tap into our beliefs and value system. And then the third one, we fail to be flexible or even be open to hearing what someone else has to say. And I see this a lot in the environment with social media, watching it. I see that people will say something or be set in their position because it's a position. And in reality, like, a position can shift and change, especially if there's new information that comes up. So let me give you an example. I'm a personal trainer, right? And there's always new information that comes out. When I first started personal training, it was really more about, like, hey man, this is a body part. This is how you work this body part. And this was 22 years ago. The thing that's been the difference, because people were open to new information over the years, now technology, science has opened up to, perfect example, something like fascia. 22 years ago, a lot of people weren't talking about fascia. Now fascia is like a key component in building a program, opening up a body, seeing what's happening with the body. And again, this has changed. If everyone was set in their beliefs and systems, a lot of the advancements that have been made would be still waiting to be made. So being open to enough different perspective and being open to hear something that may be against or may be different from the truth that you're set and accustomed to, or different from the values and beliefs that you're set to. The key thing, be open. Am I saying you have to change your beliefs and values? I'm free of saying that. And I'm also saying that when you can be open, you may want to change your beliefs and values because what you hear may be more in alignment with your beliefs and values. Okay? more believable and more in alignment with who you truly are. So take that with you. Again, these 3 components for really digging and getting and settling into your truth, which is key for your health and well-being, ding, is you want to be curious, okay? You want to know your values and belief systems. And then you want to be open to another perspective or what information is out there. Again, because even listen, remember, even when you're open to other information out there, you're still being curious and researching all of it, and making sure it's aligned, making sure, hey, this is reliable, this is credible, okay? So enjoy. If you have any comments, leave them below. If you have another thing that you're thinking of that may be more in alignment with truth, or that's the tip, please leave it in the comments, man. This ain't about me like, hey, this is how you gotta do it. Nah, it's bullshit. This is a collective, man. This is me about me sharing what's working for me or what comes up for me, because if it's helping me, it may help someone else out there. I don't know, and I'm gonna put it out there. So this is Paul, your new wellness guide. Thanks for tuning in. As always, I appreciate you. I appreciate you tuning in. And if this works for you, if you like this, subscribe. More stuff coming out every week. And also share this. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You're a blessing. I'm grateful. Be well. I'm out.